Welcome back to Freakshow's Forgotten Films, the series in which I go through my collection and watch all the movies that I have not seen yet, of which there are many because I suck. I have everything written down and in this little coffin here, so we're just going to go ahead and rattle the bones up and see what we're watching today. And hoping we're going to get a good one. Okay? Fingers crossed. Ooh, helps if I open the right side of the coffin. Alright. Let's see what we're watching today. Pray for me. The lighting's really bad today. It's a really dreary day. Oh, this should be fun. We're watching a foreign film today. Not only are we watching a foreign film, we're watching... Oh, you cannot see. You cannot see. Can you read? No, probably not. Yakuza Apocalypse. We're going to watch Yakuza Apocalypse. Now, originally I've heard of this movie through... yes, I just yeeted that over there. Through Horror Guru and Count Dracula, who I watch religiously because they like weird movies as much as I do, and I trust their opinions. And they raved about this thing being batshit crazy, and judging by the box art and everything on it, let me just dig this out. Let me just dig this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have it. Yakuza Apocalypse. Each by... I can't pronounce his name. Can't pronounce his name, but I love his movies. Takashi Miike? Yes, I am not Japanese. But, like, yeah, the writing is a little bit too small for me to actually read. I'm blind. But, let's see what I can do here. In the ruthless underground world of the Yakuza, name I can't pronounce, is the legendary boss of the underlings. Okay. He's rumored to be invincible, but in truth is a vampire with superhuman powers. Oh. Okay. It's like Kamiura, I think is pronounced. Most loyal underling, oh god, so many names. Kajiyama is seen as weak by the rest of the gang due to his sensitive skin that can't be tattooed. Okay. When assassins... Okay. There's a lot of okay happening here, I'm sorry. When assassins aware of boss... Can't pronounce it. Secret arrive from abroad, he is given an ultimatum. Return to the international syndicate he left years ago or die. During an assassination attempt against Kamiura, he bites why did he do this? Kageyama, and passes on his vampire powers to the unsuspecting Yakuza. Okay, so that doesn't sound too batshit. It's just vampires in the Yakuza. Okay, that's sure. But at one point, watching reviews of this, I saw a man in a frog suit blast off into space. So, yeah. I'm not sure what that's about. But we're gonna watch it. And why is it so dark? Like, it's a dreary ass day, but it is dark as fuck. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go watch this. I've been looking forward to this one because, like I say, I saw a frog blast off into space. And I'm not sure what that was about. So this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. So I will be back. It'll be just a few seconds for you. For me, it will be 115 minutes. Alright, and we're back. And I think the lighting's a little better now. I'm not sure. It was just really dark this morning. I don't know. This movie was an interesting watch for 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. I'll give you that one. Holy shit. Okay, so ratings out of the way first. IMDb give it a 5.5 out of 10. Tomato meter had it on a 61% with an audience score of 40%. Myself, I'm giving this 7 out of 10 because this was fun. This was fun. I watched it with subtitles. There was no dubbing available, which is fine because I prefer subtitles. It is in Japanese, clearly. The plot? Alright. I'm gonna spoil this movie I don't even know if you can spoil this movie because you need to see it to kind of believe it. Okay, so we have the Yakuza. You know what the Yakuza, I don't know how to pronounce it. The Yakuza. They're in Japan, they're fighting, and it starts out as just, like, the first 10 minutes of this is just a really fighty, actiony, bloody, gory Yakuza movie. Really. But then it gets weirder and weirder, and we discover, of course, the leader of the Yakuza that we refer to as the boss, which is great. He is a vampire. But this type of vampire doesn't burn in sunlight, apparently. Like, because they're out in the daytime the whole time. But that's besides the point. But he is a vampire. That's great. Okay, so there's this crowd that shows up. It's a vampire hunter, I'm guessing. There's this guy, he shows up, he has like the hat on, he looks like fucking Helsing from the anime Helsing. He has the big hat, the duster. He has a backpack on that's just a wooden coffin. And they get... I'm sorry, this movie's ridiculous. They confront the boss and his number one guy, who is our main character for the rest of the movie after this, and they kill the boss by shooting him with this handmade stake launcher thing, which hits him, and all this electricity shocks him all over, and the little partner of the vampire hunter dude gets on his head and twists it around like 3 times and rips it off. Okay, so, and then shoots the henchman guy, who is our main character, that I can't pronounce his name, so he's just gonna be the main character. I'm bad at names, let alone Japanese names, okay? So, we got... He shoots him, but he lives. He gets up, and he picks up the head of the boss, which he's like, no, type thing, but it wakes up, but it's just a head. But it wakes up. And he's like, drink my blood, or take my blood, or he bites him. The head bites him. Okay? So now he's a vampire. And I'm guessing new leader of the Yakuza, but he doesn't know he's a vampire. He don't know what the fuck's going on. Nobody explains this to him. Now, at some point, we talk about the fact that this man has no tattoos, and the rest of the Yakuza are covered in tattoos, but this man has no tattoos because he has sensitive skin that he can't get tattoos. But when the vampire boss bites him, the vampire boss's tattoo appears on his back, this big tattoo. And then it winks at the camera, the tattoo itself. So that's a thing that happens. And... Sure. So now, new guy, new vampire dude. He doesn't know what's going on. He just knows he's very hungry, very thirsty. And the hungrier and more thirsty he gets, the more his hands heat up. At one point he cracks an egg in his hand. I don't know. He cracks an egg in a hand and it cooks. Meanwhile, in order to feed the boss type thing, he had like a knitting group in the basement of like the Yakuza place. With all these old men chained together, knitting, and then this guy comes in with like the wooden sandals with like the slats on the bottom, starts stomping on the feet of the men, and the one that's like, if a man crushes your right foot, you must present him your left, or something. I don't know, but all I know is that when this guy stomps on his foot, it breaks his foot, and he pulls his needle and he loses a stitch. And as someone who knits, I'd be pissed if somebody did that. I wouldn't even care about my fucking foot. As someone who knits, you lose a fucking stitch? Game over, okay? Like, I hate it. It's the worst. So, I would have been fucking pissed if it was me. But anyway, the bossman takes him, he drinks his blood. So, yeah, okay, so I guess that's how they determine who's gonna be food. Anyway, that's another thing. We get back to these guys later. But, yeah, they're just in the basement, chained together, knitting for reasons. I don't know why they're knitting. So, vampire guy, new guy, he's going around and he sees, like, this couple getting attacked in an alley, and he's like, oh no, not on my... And goes in and kicks everybody's ass, but then he bites the man and changes him into a vampire, who changes his wife into a vampire, who then changes someone else. So now there's all kinds of vampires. But they're calling themselves Yakuza, not vampires. So, you know, the vampires are the Yakuza now, apparently. But, like, they have to feed off civilian blood because Yakuza blood doesn't taste as good or something. I don't know why. But, anyway, there's, like, now an army of vampires. I'm missing plot lines. Because there's a kid in this, too, that goes badass. Who wants his dad to kill him. But his dad goes to kill him, but the Yakuza stop him. But then the Yakuza... this other lady in the Yakuza or whatever, they kill his dad and he wants revenge. So now we have Mr. Man, the vampire, and his group of vampire Yakuza, and like the actual Yakuza captain lady or like rival, I don't know what she is. They call her captain. She hears dripping in her head and all of a sudden stuff comes out of her ears. There's no reason for this that I can tell, but at one point she's trying to grow civilians because civilians keep turning into vampires and calling themselves Yakuza, so she's trying to grow civilians. But I don't know what's going on there. She like plants things and feeds it milk. I'm confused by this, but it's kind of awesome. This is a different kind of confused than I was with the ones with the 4 guys lost in the woods. This is a different kind of confused. I'm confused, but I love it. So, moving on. He has this friend dude that, like, is an inventor. I think he's an inventor. I don't know. Makes no sense. But he's like... They're talking about how... this monster is coming. Like, the worst terrorist there ever was. I'll get back to him, because he's... the best character in this movie. The absolute best character in this movie. So he's on his way, and he wants to kill the boss, but the boss is already dead, so I guess he's gonna kill, like, the new vampire guy. So that's fine. So, the vampire hunter dude and his little henchman go to, like, where the men are all chained up knitting, and that's where they're hanging out and telling the other Yakuza, like, hey, he was a vampire. Like, you were working for a vampire this whole time. So they're, like, turning him on the other guy, and a kappa shows up, you know, like, the mythical creature, like a kappa goblin thing, the Japanese creature that has, like, a tortoise shell and a bird beak and smells really bad. That shows up. He's in it 2 or 3 times. That's a thing that happens. But anyway, I'm just gonna fast forward because, like, there's this lady that gets raped and gets saved, and now she's in love with the new Yakuza guy. That's a thing. There's a lot of that's a things. But I just want to talk about... this monster dude. Like, the worst terrorist ever. He's like this huge monster thing. He shows up, and he's in a frog mascot costume. It's big head, frog costume, looks like a giant teddy bear. And he's walking down the road, and there's this group of, like, idiots just there, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? You're here for, like, a store opening or something? And he just, like, lays them all out, just kicks the shit out of all of them. Just one punches all of them to the ground and just walks on, and he's whistling. Right? So this is the scary guy. He's this guy in this costume. So he shows up to, like, the basement where the kappa and the vampire hunter and the knitting dudes are, and he just wreaks havoc there. So him and the vampire hunter, they're going after, and their group of miscreants are going after new guy and his vampire Yakuza. And they're fighting, carnage, and it's great. So then, Monster Guy, which I don't even know his name. I don't know if they give him a name. But he takes off the mascot uniform. And lo and behold, under the mascot uniform, he has a... I'm guessing this is supposed to be his real face, but it's a frog mask. And, like, frog hands. And he has a band-aid over his belly button. So at some point, during the fight, things happen. So many things happen. He gets killed, I guess, but this summons a giant kaiju version of the frog mascot costume to come and start, like, trampling around, squishing things, and, like, you see these, like, It's literally the guy in the mascot costume squishing little army men and stuff, like little plastic things. It's amazing. And then our main character turns into some kind of vampire creature with like crazy hands and like big fangs and I think wings, and he flies at him. End the movie. That's it. That's it. There's so much more happens than this, okay? This movie is not a movie. This is an experience. And I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I don't know if you if you're okay with wacky, like if you've seen some Takeshi, how do you say his name? Takeshi Miike? I don't know. Takeshi, you know who I'm talking about. You know, Ichi the Killer guy. If you can watch Ichi the Killer, you can watch this. Like, this is not as it's not like fucked up violence, like say Audition or something. Like, it's not that kind of thing. There's a lot of violence though. It's more action violence. There's a lot of blood, and it's just really weird. It is. It's really weird, and it's fun, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I'm probably gonna watch it again later, probably, when I'm not like having to like see if I like it or not type thing. You know, nah, not because I have to watch it. I want to watch it because I want to watch it. Like, it's an interesting movie, but don't take it too seriously because it's not a serious movie. I don't know what happened during most of this movie. It's just really fun. It's really fun, and I feel like I'm drunk or something, and I haven't had a drink in almost a year. So, but that's the feeling it gives you. Like, am I drunk? Or what's happening? It's great. It's great. I loved it. If you like really weird movies, I suggest you watch it. If you don't mind Japanese movies and you like stuff that's really weird, watch this movie. So that's all I got for you today. I'll be back in the next video. I don't know what that's gonna be because I'm doing these. I'm not filming these in bulk anymore. I'm doing them day for day now because my craft fair is over, so I can rest. I can do things on my own time until the next one. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.